How's everybody doing this evening? Make some noise. Yeah, let's go. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So it is 6:34. This was supposed to start at 6. We're on CP time. It's all good. It's all love. It's the holidays. As you know, the roads are treacherous. So is the weather. So is the traffic. So thank you guys for, getting here first and foremost, safely. So we're going to go ahead and start this podcast really quick. So check. Welcome back to the Young OG Perspective, where we give you a new perspective.
A fresh perspective.
A Young OG Perspective, baby.
Yup.
You know what it is. It's the fresh kid with the beard and no fear. Today, we came to push positivity. Change the narrative.
Facts.
But most importantly, move the culture.
Woo.
My name is Alonzo Ashley, if you're looking for me. But I promise you, I came off the streets right in the eats. Ooh, that rhymes. No, I'm gonna be in the open mic. Don't worry. I got some stuff, And like I said, if I'm the CEO, this gentleman to my right, he is the CFO.
Money bags.
That's right. He's not playing. And like I said, we look it to the left, to the right, but never behind us because you were never in sight.
Never, not once. Ray Charles.
Exactly. And we got a special edition at this first Friday for you guys. So welcome everybody to the December edition of the Young OG Perspective podcast, presented in partnership with the Utah Black Chamber. So today at this round table, in this episode, we're going to be spotlighting the next wave of leadership and innovation shaping Utah's Black business and creative community. So we are joined with not 3, but 4 dynamic voices. So we have Miss Gina in the building. Make some noise. Yeah. I love the energies here. I'm ready right now. I love it. We got Gina in the building. Next up, we got Afia. Make some noise. We got Junior in the building. Make some noise. And check it out. Last but not least, but at least he's not last, we got Ibrahim in the building. Make some noise. Each representing a new frontier of empowerment and collaboration within the Chamber's growing ecosystem. So Gina co-leads, the Small Business Advisory Committee, where entrepreneurs are equipped with the tools, mentorship, and access needed to thrive. Afia brings the vision and the creative Syndicate, a collective of young innovators and artists turning creativity into economic opportunity. And Ibrahim representing the University of Utah Black Student Union Partnership, bridging education, leadership, and community impact to prepare the next generation of changemakers. Together, they're redefining what it means to build, create, and lead, reminding us that the future of the Utah Black excellence is not only bright, but boldly collaborative. So we're gonna lean in tonight, take some notes. This is where culture, creativity, and commerce intersect. So you guys ready? Yes. Let's go. So we got a brief intro. We're going to start with you, Gina. So Small Business Advisory Committee, SBAC co-chair. So the Small Business Advisory Committee serves as a strategic arm of the Utah Black Chamber created to strengthen and support Black-owned and minority-owned businesses across Utah. The committee offers mentorship, advocacy, and resources to assist entrepreneurs in navigating challenges, accessing capital, and expanding their operations. Through workshops, policy insight, and direct connection to corporate and community partners, the SBAC helps ensure that the Black business not only launch, but grow, scale, and thrive within Utah's economic system. So our first question for you tonight is, obviously, it was created to straighten the ecosystem for the Black entrepreneurs and small business owners. Gina, what do you see as the most immediate need or opportunity for small businesses in Utah during the current economic landscape, and how is the committee helping to address it?
Well, hello everyone. Bear with me that I'm recovering from a little bit of a cold, but nonetheless I'm here and I'm present. So right now the immediate need that I see for small businesses, especially Black-owned businesses in Utah, is going to be access. It's going to be access to resources. Access is, oh my gosh. Bear with me. Access to relationships and access to real guidance, which is going to help them navigate growth and maintain sustainability. How we're currently addressing this as a committee is we're focusing on breaking down those barriers where disconnect can kind of happen within our community when people are trying to create strategic partnerships, where they're trying to access technical support, where they're seeking funding opportunities, and they're trying to build that strong community network. We're trying to bridge that gap and create those networks of communities so that you can be able to kind of reach those internal hubs and expand outward. Do you have anything you want to add, Junior?
No, you got it.
Okay.
Is there anybody in the audience, because this is very we want to interact with you guys as well, from the standpoint of what she just said, is there anybody in the audience that may have a question regarding to the SBAC?
Don't be shy.
Oh, perfect.
What about nonprofits? Because I'm here with Curly Me. And how have you, from your perspective of someone who deals with this on a more regular basis, how have you been trying to compensate for the world right now, especially when it's not a for-profit business?
That's a really good question. So we try our best to, well, obviously we're a pretty new branch of the Utah Black Chamber, but primarily my main focus is going out into the community and seeing where there are resources that people may not be aware of. And so I've actually taken my time completely outside of the chamber, and I've created a resource list of about 150 different areas, both locally in Salt Lake City and expansive worldwide, that you can connect with and see how that resource can help your nonprofit or your for-profit business. So that's one of the ways that I do that. Do you have anything you want to add, Junior?
And yeah, I definitely agree with where we're going with this. And one of the things that we created as a program is something we call Utah World Hive. And Utah World Hive is, there are a couple legs to what we're going to be doing. And our main focus, like we said, putting together education, mentorships, partnerships, funding access. We're businesses. This is about businesses, whether it be, and again, a nonprofit's business, whether we want to admit it or not. Even if it starts in the heart, it's still a business, and that's the only way you can go out there and make a difference. Nobody's giving away anything for free anymore nowadays, and you've got programs that you need to fund. So one of the things that we're working on is trying to create the businesses, but as far as nonprofits concerned, one of the things that we want to do as businesses is figure out a way to give back. And that's where we want to go. So I've got this little mantra, and I've been saying it for the last 2 days. We're working on a program called World Hive, the Hive, essentially. I know we're in Utah, and of course we're going to come up with a name, the Hive. But the Hive is designed to be like a small networking group, and we want to make it huge. So we want to bring businesses together. We want to do I'm a cop it. Somebody said that once. I'm a cop the theory of BNI. Where you get up and you tell people what you do and how you can do them. So for the last couple of days, it's like, who are you? What do you do? What's in it for me? And what's in it for you? And being able to get up and present that and figure out who was in the crowd on the day in question that can help you or that you can give back to. And as Jason would say, if you're not in the circle and you're not giving back, why are you here? So we got to figure out a way where everybody benefits. And I'm going to hog the mic for a minute. So it's called Utah World Hive because we want to expand. We want to start locally and expand globally. But it's kind of like the bee concept. A few years ago when they said, the murder hornets were killing all the bees, everybody was stressing. But if you think about the concept, if bees disappear from the ecosystem, a lot of things are going to go to hell. That's just the bottom line. So I equate the bees to small businesses. If all of our small businesses start dropping off the map and we don't support each other in a hive mentality, we've got to get out there and support each other. We've got to get out there and say, hey, how can I help you drive business? How can I help you do what you got to do? And that's the only way that this hive is going to survive. And as we survive, we'll grow. If you look at beehives, even though in their box, they start growing, so that's what we're looking for is creating that atmosphere and a platform for growth amongst the businesses in the chamber.
I love that.
Perfect.
And I don't have a question. I just wanted to make a comment because being in Utah where it's less than 2% Black, you know, the importance of collaboration and partnership is very, very important. So if you leave with anything today, please leave with a business card or passing your business card, Instagram, you know, whatever way you choose to connect, right? I know some people are private. They don't want to give out their personal number and their government name and things like that. But, you know, take it for the starting point where you're comfortable, because we can go far by ourselves, but we get a lot further when we go together. And we had a conference call. You had a great point that, you know, this government shutdown has affected so many people out here because everybody's trying to get the same bucket of cash. But how do we come together and go after it as a conglomerate versus just, oh, I'm just here for my nonprofit. I'm just here for my business. I'm just here for my videography company. How do we pull each other up and make sure, you know, everybody is eating at the table? So thank you. And when can we expect more information regarding, you know, that initiative and that hive?
Yeah, February. Yeah.
February. Okay,
Yeah.
so February. So
We'll keep you notified between now and then. I think I got all your email addresses. No, no. We'll definitely make contact in January, but we're looking to host our first event in February, and we definitely want everyone to come out and mix and mingle. But it's a more focused event. It's about getting your information out. It's about getting what you do out there, because we come to events like this and we can't talk to everybody in the space. But if a select few get up and say, hey, this is what I do, and you're like, oh, I need you. I need to talk to you afterwards. I'm going to remember your face because I didn't hear the conversation you were having across the room. But when you're standing on platform, when you're telling everybody what it is that you do, and then we start those programs, then we put people in place. We've got our first set of guest speakers. They're in-house with us tonight, but from a business perspective, one of the things that I sat down and learned the other day in a lesson is like, what does my business look like? Can I sell my business in 20 days if somebody says, hey, I'll give you $1 million for your business? Instead of scrambling, putting everything together, how do we set our business up? And if we can have more people that run their business like that, they'll see the opportunities, and then they can go to the banks for funding and expansion and all that crazy stuff. But let's plan on looking for something in February, and we'll get the word out to y'all.
Did we answer your question? Perfect.
All right. Afia. We're going to get to the Creative Syndicate next. So just a quick introduction. The Creative Syndicate is a collective of 18 to 35-year-old emerging leaders, artists, and innovators dedicated to building economic and cultural opportunity through creativity. It connects Utah's creative entrepreneurs, designers, filmmakers, musicians, content creators, and visionaries with resources, mentorship, and platforms to showcase their talent. The Syndicate of young Black creatives transforming artistry into entrepreneurship, positioning creativity, and driving force for economic empowerment and cultural. So, question for you is, the Syndicate represents a new wave of innovation and artistic entrepreneurship. How do you see creativity serving as both a cultural and economic driver for Utah Black community? And how does the Syndicate cultivate and create power into real opportunity?
Thank you. That's a great question. So to start, I'm an artist myself. I do spoken word, and being a part of something like this is not only really rewarding, because when you're a creative, you're not thinking about the business aspect of things. You're focused on your passion. And so often there's a lack of structure with how we as artists function. So, like, let's just keep it a buck. Black creativity has shaped the world and global culture since sliced bread, okay? So, we inspire artistry on a international level. And so when I think about spaces just like this one, Eats Bakery is a great example, because when you look around on these walls, these are local artists. We have, some of my friends are up here, Eddie Ekbo, Andrea Hardiman, like they need access, right, to resources. They need access to mentorship, to funding. These projects are not free, and exposure doesn't pay the bills. So we just have to find a way to gain that access and have the opportunity to bridge the gap between our passions and what brings in the bacon. One of the ways that we're looking to do that is through program development and workshopping. Mid last month, we had a conversation with some of our leadership board. Some of them are in this room today. And we were talking about, the ways that people remain educated and the ways that the access to the right resources can really change the shape of the Utah economy. I was just at the Utah Business Forward conference, which is something that I encourage all people to attend who, if you are a business owner, if you are in any industry, whether you're creative or not, it is something that I highly recommend attending in the next year, if you get an opportunity to, because I learned so much about leadership, about community building, about team enhancement and building, intergenerational conversations, how we can have them more effectively. And the big takeaway that I had was, oh my God, the Olympics will be here in 2034. That is seemingly far away, but that's not that far away in the reality of things. So we have to adapt. As one of the keynote speakers said, she was an Olympian, and she said, it's the time before the Olympics, it's the time during the Olympics, and it's the time after the Olympics that will shape Utah's economy. And artists are a huge part of that, because we tell the narrative. We are telling the narrative of the story of this state. And Black creatives are here, and we're not an anomaly, and we are also not a monolith. So it is important for us to acknowledge the presence of the creatives that exist here and giving them platforms and access, as Gina and Junior both mentioned earlier, to the right resources, mentorship, and funding that gives them the opportunity to really shine here in the state.
So I have a follow-up sides of this, because
Go for it.
there's a side of artistry. Creatives are creative for a reason, but they don't always understand the business aspect of it, the smart side of the business, how to manage your accounts, how to manage money, how to market. All of those things are not first nature. But on the other side, entrepreneurs generally aren't the creatives, right? So how do you bridge the gap between the two? How do you bring these groups together to share that communicative knowledge and help both sides see that the foundation of what they're doing is creativity? You have to be creative to be an entrepreneur, right? But it's a different brain cycle that you're using. So how do you bring them together, or what intentions do you guys have to bring them together?
I'll go first on this one. I think the most important thing is conversation, and spaces like this open up the floor for conversations to happen. I think that with artists, we have a hard time marketing ourselves. So we're not going to push ourselves out there. But the reality is in order for the artistry to go where it needs to go, in order for those bills to be paid, you have to start asking the more important questions and getting people to ask you, what is your rate? How can I come to you and use your services and your talents for the benefit of my business? And with that comes the education part, right? So that's ensuring that people understand contracts, understand the importance of having your legal foundation built very strong in order for you to work alongside a more corporate or small business that can lean into your talents. And I think just by that educational aspect, people are able to start seeing the other side of what the business aspect is of their artistry. I always like to say that, just because you're an independent artist doesn't mean that you are alone. And you need a team of people. And those teams tend to look like the small business association and committees that are associated with it. And we have to be open to that idea of working alongside one another.
Exactly. And to kind of segue off of, oh, thank you. Right, I'm trying to keep my distance from the mic, and we're recovering, no longer sick. But to kind of segue off of what Afia said, it's basically what she stated, creating those spaces where creatives and business owners, entrepreneurs can come into the same room, sit down and have a conversation and see how they both can connect and further grow. If we continue to keep separation between the two, those two spaces are never going to know that they have the ability to collaborate. So having a space where people can connect, converse, and, kind of build and, expand on ideas, that is one of the biggest ways to bridge that gap, in my opinion. Yeah.
Absolutely. You brought up the Olympics. So how did that come up in conversation, or was the keynote just speaking, in anticipation of the Olympics?
So she was speaking in anticipation of the Olympics, and I don't know how many people have been through Salt Lake Airport lately, but the sign is up.
Yeah.
It's coming, 2034. We are going to be on an international stage. There's going to be a lot of eyes watching us, both here in the state and from around the world. So she definitely emphasized the importance of being prepared.
No, I love that. I mean, I was a little kid when it was here in 2002, I was young.
I was too, Alonzo.
I was young.
It's okay.
I was young. I was young.
Young OG perspective,
exactly,
okay?
Yeah. I think the internet had just came out. You know what I mean? Like
Okay,
02,
wow.
it's 02. It's like
true.
MSN chat rooms, things like
Dial
that.
up, dial up.
Yeah, dial up. And if you had Wi-Fi, like you was balling. You know what I mean? So I remember when it was here, but you see the footprint that it left here, and it makes me think about All-Star Weekend and how much local artists really played into that weekend being successful. We were trying to anticipate it as much as possible. Thank you to the Black Chamber for, keeping us booked and busy. But this chamber really does impact business growth. It is a stimulus package. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I know a lot of people say, well, why do I need to be affiliated or join the chamber? The people that are in here are alive and thriving, and so is their business. So the proof is in the pudding. So thank you for bringing that up, because I can share personal testimony from All-Star Weekend and what that did for us and how it impacted us, as far as like a business perspective. So
Can I speak to that?
Please
just
go
a
ahead.
second?
Yeah.
All-Star Weekend showed what the power of the chamber really was. Because there were some events that were supposed to happen that didn't go as planned, and a lot of people lost money. And the chamber came in like a saving grace, like a safety net for so many businesses to make money with their markets. And it was absolutely incredible. And I've had the pleasure of getting to work alongside these amazing people who do that work with the chamber. So if you are not a member of the Utah Black Chamber, I encourage you heavily to join. It's an annual fee, and it's not that much. So I really do encourage it. Oh, and you don't have to be black. And you don't have to be black. It's great if you are, though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my people.
But no, all good, all great. Ibrahim, how you doing, brother?
Good. How about you?
So Ibrahim is the University of Utah Black Student Union Partnership. So the University of Utah Black Student Union, BSU, bridges education, leadership, and entrepreneurship by connecting college students with the Utah Black Chamber's business network and professionals development programs. Through this collaboration, students gain access to mentorship, internships, and real-world experiences that prepare them for leadership in business, civic engagement, and creative industries. This partnership embodies the Chamber's commitment to cultivating the next generation of Black leaders and ensuring they have the tools, relationships, and confidence to lead with excellence. So my question for you is, the Chamber's partnership with the Utah Black Student Union bridges education, leadership, and economic opportunity. How is this collaboration helping students connect classroom learning to real life business, civic, and creative leadership experiences?
Yeah. Oh, that's a very good question. And before I even start, I'm gonna start with a little story actually. So I
Please.
become a bachelor's at the University of Utah in political science, but I never participated in any student organization, even BSU included. And then afterward, now I'm working at the city. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back for my master's, but I want to be able to be helpful to my community. So I went and joined the Black Student Union, and the first email I sent was to Dr. Shorter. I was like, hey, Dr. Shorter, we've worked together from the city perspective. Now I joined the Black Student Union. I want to be able to connect with the Black Chamber so we can bring those resources to students. The first thing she said is like, I don't care what I need to do, but make sure you guys connect with me and I can help whichever way whatever I can do to help, let me know. The first thing that went to my mind is like, damn, she didn't even ask any questions. She's ready to help. So as soon as I joined the board, the first thing we did is to make sure we meet with Dr. Shorter, connect with the Utah Black Chamber to see what resources are available so we can make sure our students are not just going to class and getting out, but they're able to join the community, in this case, the BSU, and they're also get the resources that the Black Chamber was able to offer. And up to this point, we've been getting pretty much all the opportunities that Dr. Shorter comes across. She send it to us to make sure our students are being connected to the business owners who are here, and to make sure they're connected in the community, to make sure they're getting opportunities to actually get real life experience outside of the classroom. So a lot of our students are actually very involved, and the ones that are actually interested in business actually will be joining the Creative Syndicate program starting next year as well. So we just want to make sure we are staying connected to the Black Chamber, make sure our students are getting the resources they need, and that's how this partnership has pretty much been going up to this point, and it's been great.
Nice.
No, I do have a follow-up because there's a bleed over in the age range that each one of you are kind of being responsible for right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this question is for you and kind of spirals to each of you.
Mm-hmm.
The youth today are leveraging AI in a very, very different way. So how do you anticipate what the students are learning today with AI and the experience that they're gaining with that to implement it across the board for the entrepreneurs that are already in business that aren't using it and how to leverage it? And again, taking that back and teaching them how to run a business.
Right. So I'll focus on the student perspective. So the way we look at it is AI it's pretty much a resource, right? It's a tool that they can use to do not only research in the classroom, but research on what's going on in the real world as well. Because one area that actually Dr. Shorter has made very clear is that we don't want them to just focus on the school side of things. They need to learn what's going on around the world. So in AI has just been kind of like a tool that our students can use to get information quicker, to understand what's going on outside of the classroom. That means resources, getting access to resources, and they can use AI to just learn what's really going on outside of the classroom for the most part.
AI.
Before she answers, how many of you leverage AI today in your daily lives?
Yeah.
If you don't, definitely try to use it. It's beneficial.
Yes. AI is amazing, and it's also terrifying.
Yes.
It's one of those things that I think that creatives can use for the business aspect of things, and helping them get the educational resources that they need to build their businesses. I think that with the reality of things is, if, like you said, if you're not using AI, you will fall behind. But there is something really powerful about the human connection that AI simply can't replace. So there has to be a balance that is struck with the people that decide to use it. And in our committee, I personally would encourage the use of it for the better, for resource perspective and for resource usage, but they still have to go out into the real world and talk to those business owners who have been doing it without AI and get that perspective and then implement those AI technologies for their betterment and bridge the gap between the two, because you can't do one without the other.
So how I would personally approach that situation, to whether someone's utilizing AI or kind of afraid to use AI, I would say AI is going to enhance your overall work, but you should maintain the emotion of your work.
Ooh, I like that.
You know, so it just kind of helps to build it. It helps to kind of expand on what you're trying to present, but you should still be the human behind the work. So if someone thinks they're going to lose that essence, it's like, no, you're just going to plug something in. You're going to see how it can be modified, how it can be, you know, adjusted. And then you're going to put yourself back into it and you're going to speak and you're going to be the person that is presenting whatever it is that you plugged into AI. So just know that it's a tool. It's a resource that's going to help you leverage and it's going to continue to scale you and help you grow. So that would be my approach to that situation.
I love that. I love that you guys both speak to the connectivity that
Yes.
AI cannot replace. I mean,
Yes.
for anybody in the room, it stands for artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Did you guys know that? Well, no, because when I heard it, I thought Allen Iverson. So I'm like, yeah, no AI. Yeah.
Right?
So yeah. So let's talk about, let's pivot really quick. And this, go ahead. Sorry, Junior, go ahead.
It's the eyebrows, huh? Yeah, it's a great eyebrows. Like, he's the old guy. Let him go last. No, up until about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was very hesitant to use AI because I work in the people industry and I have seen how disruptors like Airbnb and YouTube and different businesses come in and everything's digital. It's on their phone where everybody's focused on the phone. They're not focused on the personality. But then I realized that I can use AI to help create opportunities within my business, to help me. I literally plugged in some information into a platform and it built a website for me in like 5 minutes. I've got to go in and modify a bunch of stuff and give it my personal touches, give it my personal information and the way I see things versus having a robot do it for me. But yeah, AI is definitely, we got no choice. It's the wave of the future, whether we want to deal with it or not. I mean, whether we're going to have Terminators coming back in time, we'll find out. But until then, we're going to use everything we have. And as businesses and as artists, you know, we've got to embrace it. And one of the things we want to start doing is start focusing. I know James Jackson was promoting some classes up at University of Utah to understand how to do AI prompts. And that's one of the key factors that you need to do. If you're going to do it right. And for me, I took a class about building a personal assistant through AI. I don't have to answer my emails because it'll do it for me. Of course, I got to read the emails first before I send them off, but it makes life so much easier. So we've got to embrace it because it is a technology. And so let's just run with it. And we got to figure out ways to incorporate that and that training within our businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess because we're going to pivot real quick and talk about vision and impact. And obviously you guys all just answered how AI can, really help you with vision and impact. But what does that success look like, for your initiative next year? And how do you guys envision, contributing to a stronger, more connected Black ecosystem in Utah? And this can, whoever feels it on their spirit.
Right. Yeah. So I'll go with this one first. That's something that we've thought about, actually. And to go off of what you said earlier, Alonzo, is that Utah is only 2%. Black people in Utah are only 2% of the population. So it's very easy for our people to feel like there is not enough resources out there for them. So we want the Black students to know that, first of all, we are here, especially at the University of Utah, starting from high school all the way up to when they're at university. So we've put in a lot of efforts, actually, to try and build relationships with all the BSUs, from UVU to BYU to SLIC. We are very close to SLIC. And also now, actually, we've been working on connecting to high schools again, because that's kind of a relationship that dropped off a little bit. But that's also very important because we want students from high school to know the path. Once I'm ready for college, I know I can get connected to BSU at the University of Utah or UVU or wherever you go, right? So that's the one thing that we really are putting in a lot of efforts, especially for next year, to make sure students know we're here, no matter what university they'll go to, starting from high school all the way up. And then after college, we also want to make sure the alums don't just disappear after they graduate. You cannot just disappear your community when you're done, right? We want to make sure you can come back and be a mentor back to those younger students. So those are the two main things that we're really working on. And then the third is just make sure we are staying connected to the Black Chamber and all the communities that are available for us, pretty much.
Awesome. Well said.
So next year, we're going to be opening up our membership initiative to start welcoming members into our committee. We're still in the foundational process of everything. We'll be hosting our first event in April, but we're hoping to open up that intake at the top of the new year. We're still building our leadership board, making sure that the foundation is very strong with the Creative Syndicate, because it's so important that when people decide to come and join us, we are able to lead them to where they need to go with ease and very minimal obstacles, if none. That would be most ideal. But we're new, and there's no committee that I've been a part of that's ever been like this, and I don't really have a blueprint. I'm the chair of this committee, and I don't really have a blueprint outside of the one that I'm building with my team right now. So we're just doing a lot of learning right now, and we're going to spend all of next year doing a lot of learning and a lot of growing and wanting to see how we can be prepared for things like the Olympics, for things like, I believe it's Rain Dance Film Festival that's coming to replace Sundance Film Festival. It's a independent film festival that is from London, and it'll be taking place up north in like the Ogden area. So just making sure that we are able to be positioned for those types of events and for those types of opportunities, and making sure that the people who are a part of our committee get absolutely everything they need. So that's what the next year looks like for us. And successfully, I want to say at this time next year, I would love to be sitting here talking to you about, oh yeah, we have 15 filmmakers who are part of that film festival. I would love to say that, yeah, we have some people who are doing artwork for the Olympics. That would be most ideal.
So from my standpoint, from the SBAC, thank you. Success over the next year looks a little bit different in some ways. The main thing that I want to focus on is that whenever a business comes to us with a problem, an issue, or a concern, they can leave with an immediate resolution. So creating a central hub, mainly within our own platform, where they can go type in a problem, kind of utilizing AI and getting a direct answer and a resource guide that they can use to help them structure and maintain and grow their business. That's one of the ways that I want to create impact for people that come to us with issues with their businesses. But in general, we just want to make sure that entrepreneurs feel connected, they feel supported, they feel like they have the accessibility to whatever it is that they're looking for, because everybody's needs are going to be so different. So knowing that somebody can come to you and they don't have to have that fear of, am I going to be accepted? Am I going to be heard? Is my opinion going to be valued? And them knowing that they can, they can access that point that they need to kind of further themselves along is what my hope is for the SBAC. Obviously, we have a lot of other endeavors that we're working on, but that's going to be, in my opinion, our primary focus. And I'll go ahead and pass it to Junior.
Okay. Mine's going to be more numbers driven. And I think by this time next year, I would like to have gotten World Hive and the Hive off the ground. At least 150 members attending actively. And I don't care where you're from, as long as you own a business, you're part of the Black Chamber, you're there. But out of that 50 members, we have members who are taking care of everything that you need to effectively run a business, whether it be setting up your EIN, whether you have someone that's legal, someone in insurance, someone in finance, and someone in a mentorship, someone can take you to another level, someone that can connect you to international opportunities should they be part of what you want to be. And that is part of the vision that, from the SBAC and the chamber itself, that's what we're looking to do. There are plenty of members who have left because for whatever reason, they didn't think that we were doing a good enough job. And we are here to turn that around. We are here to say, hey, what is it that you were missing from before? And how can we provide that? And then for the people that are coming in, it's like, so everybody eats. Everybody is working together. And so it's just a matter of creating that platform. There are people in this room who have suggested the ways we should do it. And we're going to follow their lead, and we're going to work, and we're going to do the footwork and put it together. So that's where it looks to be in the future for the next year.
I love that. Yeah. Great answers. Okay. So let's get to representation and leadership. How do you approach leadership within your space, balancing the need to represent the community while also pushing boundaries on creating new opportunities?
I look at leadership as an opportunity to listen and to grow. I think it's most important to remember that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And so in that sense, my team that I'm building, they are the voices that help impact how I lead and how I shape the different aspects of our committee. And everyone has a role to play. But at the end of the day, we need a representative like I'm here representing as a leader right now. And I think it's just important to keep an open mind. Like I said earlier, nothing like what we've done really exists. So I'm having to learn on the job, but it gives me a sense of peace knowing that the people who are with me on my team know that, and then also lean into that with their own experiences and shape the positions that we need with their knowledge and with their wisdom. And what was the second part of the question?
Let me reopen my phone as I'm over here using technology to help me in this, right?
Technology is our best friend.
Yeah. So when like balancing the need to represent the community while also pushing the boundaries of creating new opportunities.
Oh, pushing boundaries is my favorite thing to do. Because we are such a small population here in Utah. I think people have this idea that when they hear the word Utah, they don't think Black. And it's really sad. Because if I look around this room, we're really in here. We roll deep in here. And so when I show up to spaces like at the Utah Business Forward Conference, when I go into rooms like, where was I? I've been so many places. When I do things like my open mic, I host Soul City Open Mic here in Salt Lake City. We're the only Black, female, queer open mic in the city that I'm aware of, because I haven't seen anyone else doing it. It's a matter of showing up. And that's how you bend the boundaries here in Utah, is just showing up. Dr. Shorter always encourages myself, Gina, Ibrahim, and Junior all the time that your presence makes a difference. So if there's anything you can go to as a leader, as a committee member, as a chamber member, you are a reflection of the community that's here. So there's no problem in showing up into a room and reflecting that in the ways of your presence.
Yeah, I feel like this question was designed to what BSU is actually currently going through. So being new to BSU this year, actually I had to learn 2 things as a leader. First is I couldn't do everything myself. And then second is that things were done a certain way before we came in, because certain things had to change when the administration changed. So we have a pretty large team that focuses on all different things. We have a communications team, and they have their own person who is in charge of making sure we communicate properly to the outside world. And then I'm a development director, and we have our actual president as well, who also focuses on different things as well. So each person is leading in different aspects to make sure we are helping each other to move the program forward. And then the second thing is understanding how things were done in the past, because BSU cannot operate that way anymore, because in the past we were fully reliant on school to help fund BSU. But then we realized we cannot really fully do that. We have to build an organization where no matter what goes on in the government, we can still operate and still support ourselves. And that's what we've been able to do to make sure we are planning not just for now, but making decisions that will affect us in the future as well. And that's why I like this question about boundaries and making sure we pretty much get in a discomfort to make sure we are making those decisions that look ahead and just instead of just what's currently happening. So we've been doing a whole lot of that, making sure we are pretty much being self-reliant, self-sustaining. If the school wants to help, it's great, which they do. They're very helpful. But if they don't, BSU will still be here and we'll still move forward no matter what happens.
Well said, well said, well said. Make some noise.
So, remember this time? Personally, how I approach leadership within the SBAC is I approach leadership with intention, accountability, and a deep sense of responsibility for our community. For me, representation is important. Just a little bit of a backstory. I personally didn't grow up in a space where this was something that was even familiar to me. I didn't grow up in a space where people were pursuing higher education. They were trying to better themselves or even find ways to access success in any means. They kind of just were surviving. So by allowing myself to show up in this space and keeping that core responsibility within me alive and letting people in the community know, like, I understand you. I know that you think this is something that you may not be able to do, but trust me, you can get there with the right people, the right community, and the support. So that's my biggest way of how I handle leadership. Now, with the pushing boundaries, in a sense of kind of what Afia says, that's what I do. I'm not it's going to just maybe shock some people or maybe it won't. I wouldn't be considerable as what a co-chair would look like, right? So in those type of situations where people may see me and they don't know the depth or the background that I have, they just see the aesthetic, showing other people in the community that you can look your way, you can show up how you are, remain authentic, but still pursue a goal and be successful. It's just like allowing people to see that this is a real thing. You can keep the personality, you can keep the essence, but you can still remain successful. So that's my personal way on how I handle leadership and, creating those spaces where you kind of push the status quo and create new ways of people operating and existing in spaces that kind of have a certain structure.
Okay, that's a mouthful. I don't know how I can top that, but okay. Leadership. I think one of the things that, a lot of people say, don't ever try to be the smartest person in the room. And I can guarantee you 90% of the rooms I walk in, I'm not the smartest person. And I think for a program like this and where the SBAC wants to go, it's about recruiting the leadership, recruiting the right leadership, going out there, pressing hands, shaking babies, and and understanding exactly who is in the room and how they can come in and fundamentally help out in a leadership role, and recruiting those people and getting them to be on our team, because there's so much opportunity out there. There's so much brain power out there that's not an AI. There's so much practical experience out there. And for me, in terms of creating a leadership program for the SBAC and whatever programs we're going to do, I think that's where we need to be. If we look around the room, I guarantee if you look around the room, there's at least a couple hundred years of knowledge in this room. And to somebody who is starting a small business, I mean, we've got a little everybody in this room. We've got practical, we've got coaches, we've got legal, we've got marketing, we've got, you just got to ask. Yeah. And we've got to put those leaders in place, and they've got to step up, be willing to be there. And that's where we're going to go. And in that process, we're going to start pushing the boundaries. We're going to start pushing your limitations. We're going to ask you to do things that you don't want to do. We're going to make you feel uncomfortable. But that's where the best growth goes, when you're uncomfortable, So that's how we're going to lead, and that's how we're going to push our boundaries for growth.
Well said, well said. Last one for the group. Let's talk about collaboration and future growth. I know we've been kind of hitting on that. So the Chamber's work is rooted in partnership and collective progress. How do you see your representative initiatives intersecting or collaborating in the future to amplify one another's impacts?
I'm going to start that one. Collaboration. We're 2% of the population. If we go through the concept, it's gone down? 3% now. Woo-hoo. All right. We're growing. We're moving on up. Come on. Everybody, 3%. The 3%ers. Thank you very much. As far as collaborations, again, we're 3% of the population. If Gina designed a product that only works for people, then she's not going to do very well here in Utah. She's got to expand. She's got to create. If I have an issue, or I have a product that I've created that can service everybody. So what we've got to do from our perspective, we need to partner with everybody. We need to partner with the other chambers. We need to partner with other members. We need to partner with the banking institutions. We need to reach out and partner with that. So that cohesion and that collaboration is definitely where we need to be. And we can't just keep saying, and somebody was saying that, the Black Chamber is probably one of the most inclusive chambers in the state of Utah. And we want to make sure that is heard, that is expected, and that's where we'll see our growth, by collaborating with other people, other chambers, other businesses, other entities within the state of Utah.
And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of segue off of what Gina was saying. Collaboration is really at the heart of what the chamber does and what the SBAC does. But one of the main things that you have to realize when you're seeking collaboration is you have to go into those spaces where you don't think that there would be people to collaborate with. Giving value to those people that may not have value to you, in a sense, is one of the best ways to grow and expand, because you can connect with somebody that is sitting on amazing talents. And so by just, again, being in these type of rooms where you can sit across from somebody that may be a CFO or CEO or a creative that's just starting out, that creative could have value and that CFO has value. But bringing those two together is going to ensure that those organizations, those communities can continue to grow and expand. So truly just staying involved in your community, whether that's virtually, in person, however you can do that, or however, and I'm saying you as in a community, but we as the SBAC, and that's something that I take greatly to my heart, is staying involved in the community and connecting all of these different avenues of people and creating these circles where people can really expand and grow.
Collaboration is currency. And for me and for the members of this committee that we're building, it is the most valuable thing that we can do. One of the things that I want to work on in this position is building a bridge with the SBAC, because like we said earlier, artists lack structure most times with the business aspect of their lives. And so I would love for there to be a pathway program for our members to come in, let us know where they are, what resources they need, how their business is structured, do a full audit, making sure that they're in a good position, and then going, okay, not only are we going to send you over to the SBAC to get the resources you need to get your business structured, but we're also going to make sure that if you're a student, for example, and part of the BSU, we're connected with you as well. So this trio of committees and the student union, we are capable of doing some amazing things together. And then vice versa. The SBAC may have members that need website designers, may need artwork for their business, their brick and mortars, might want a mural, whatever the case may be. We can provide them with the resources to the right artists and making sure that those artists get access to those opportunities. So I think it's all intertwined. But the number one thing to walk away with for me, from me today, is to remember that collaboration is currency.
Yeah, just to echo what everybody else said and to add a little bit on that, it's just we try to make sure we stay connected to the Black Chamber and build upon that relationship, and just to get connected with the Black community in general as well, because I'm sure there is somebody out there who we can always get connected to. And another thing is, when people graduate, we just want to make sure we stay connected with them as well, just so they can stay in the loop, because the community doesn't end when you graduate. So we want to make sure we keep that loop going too. So that's where we'll pretty much focus, and to make sure the community stays strong.
Well, that's our show for today. We had a lovely panel, a lovely discussion. Jason? Yeah. You wanted to take us out?
That sounded a little aggressive, though. Take you out? Everybody give these guys a big, giant hand. Seriously, that clap was definitely well worth it. The Young OG perspective, these guys kill it. And everybody on the panel, congratulations on just providing so much value. Dr. Sidney asked me to just share a couple of things. My name is Jason Woodland. I'm a proud member of the board of directors for the Utah Black Chamber. I've been involved with a multitude of chambers and professional networking for many, many years. And I'll tell you, I sit on a good handful of boards of directors. Don't tell anybody, but this is my favorite one. The level of energy in these spaces is totally next level. And if I could share a little quip regarding networking is about giving. It's not about what you're getting. And I say this to a lot of people. It's about being of service to others. And, you know, we heard a lot about showing up, and that's definitely one of the big keys to this whole thing is showing up. But don't just show up and grab the donut and bounce. The donuts are definitely fantastic, but it's about what starts to happen in these spaces and then what continues to turn into something down the line. So before you leave a space like this, don't only get the business cards, but get the LinkedIn contacts, get the Instagram contacts and the Facebook. You should always have 2 or 3 or 4 people that you're linked in with before you take off from a space like this. And then don't forget to follow up. You know, set up the lunch. You know, Junior and I went and grabbed lunch the other day, and that was awesome. Set up lunches, set up phone calls, set up one-to-ones, go grab a coffee, and continue the relationship build because it's all about community. And the thing is that for the last few decades, communities have been breaking down in general. And especially since COVID, we're seeing a major separation, and we need to reunify. And like these guys were talking about collaboration, getting involved with chambers of commerce and networking organizations and showing up and building that community. And then, of course, you know, these organizations, you know, pay attention to what's happening here because there is a ball of fire ripping through the universe that the Utah Black Chamber is creating. And this is fantastic stuff. And if you're not a member of the Utah Black Chamber, definitely become a member. I promise you, like showing up to things is one thing and that's great. But when you become part of something, you're part of that ball of fire ripping through the universe. So thanks for listening to me this evening. Shout out to Dr. Sidney Shorter because she is just a powerhouse galore, one of my favorites. And absolutely. And you know what? I think without further ado, make sure you follow DJ D Smooth on Instagram. And let's kick it off.
Hold on, Smooth. Hold on real quick. Just to add on to that, so if you do set up the call, you do set up the meeting, this is a phenomenal space to have the meeting here at Eats Bakery, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? Come on. So shout out to Eats Bakery for having us this evening. Once again, if you're going to set up that meeting, set up that call, if you need to come here and grab a coffee, a pastry, and do some work, do some research, some editing. Can you do Zoom calls in here too? Oh, you can do all the calls up in here. So, you gonna see me this week. So she better see you guys all this week. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Young OG Perspective, where we give you a new perspective, a fresh perspective, but most importantly, a young OG perspective, baby. Appreciate y'all.